Hey everybody, my name is Cathy Kuhlmeier and I was a named plaintiff at Hazelwood v. Kuhlmeier, a decision which came down in 1988 over high school censorship. Back in the 80s when I was in high school, I was a member of the Spectrum staff at Hazelwood East, and we were working on identifying some problems within our school, and we wanted to do some tougher topics than what were typically published in the Spectrum. And so we talked about stories that were relevant in our school. We talked about teen pregnancy and divorce and marriage and runaways, things like that, because there was a pregnancy problem in our school. And we wanted to help other kids, so we interviewed students that were in a situation of being pregnant, or the parents were divorcing, or someone was considering running away. And we're going to give the information as far as how to get help and what it's like being in those situations. It wasn't there to invite anybody into getting pregnant. It wasn't the how-tos. It was more of the how not to and what it's like when you're in that situation, because we wanted kids to know you're not the only one in that situation, because high school's hard and we wanted to help make a difference to somebody else. So we wrote the stories and everything was ready to go to press, and our principal censored us, even though we had just learned that we had rights as a high school student. It really didn't apply in Hazelwood East because we were censored. After that happened, I went and I called our advisor, Mr. Sturgis, because he had just left our class and he had gone into private practice doing his own business. And we found out that he said we should contact the LCLU. So I went and called him, and they said they'd like to talk to us. So with 3 students, myself, Leslie Edwards, and Leanne Tippett, went down to the ACLU and met with them, and they said, we believe you guys have a case and we'd like to handle it for you. So they filed for us on our behalf. And all of a sudden, I'm in the center of a media storm, and it's like, what is going on when you're finding yourself in so much press and having to tell your story and make a point of it so that people understood where you're coming from and why it was relevant. So all of this is happening. Everything rolls through the court system, and we ended up losing the case, which is what has changed the course of history so much, because now it is really impacting student journalists, because it's taken away the right by losing the case as far as what your freedoms are. It's made it a whole lot harder for students and advisors to be involved on things and get things done, and that's not what the object of any of this was. So why is it relevant today? Let me tell you. The reason it's relevant today is because students across the country are still being censored. My own son was censored during his junior year of high school, just like I was. And that really hit home for me, because if it can happen still to my son, then it can continue to happen to others. And that's not what our goal is. So through New Voices of USA, there's a motion across the country where everybody can be involved on it. If you have enjoyment about journalism, if you're passionate about it, you just want to make a difference, you want to get involved on it. Help us out and stand up for your rights. Speak up to their representatives and your senators and tell them how you feel about it, because you too can make a difference. It's just that simple, as by contacting them, speaking up about what you believe in. And you may feel that you're just a high school student, someone that doesn't matter. Who cares what you have to say? We care. It makes a difference, because by uniting and coming together and talking about what is continuing to happen, we could make these wrongs into rights by presenting our cases, giving our testimonies, and standing up for what we believe in. Thanks for your time.